Alright y'all, welcome to the channel. I'm about to take a look at this video, why everyone hates tech now. So a little bit of background real quick. I went to school for computer science, so I think I might have a little bit to say about this, to be honest. It's kind of intriguing.
Do you remember the release of the iPhone? When Steve Jobs, he walks out with the turtleneck looking like Messiah.
And we are calling it iPhone.
And more importantly, do you remember how you felt? I do. I was probably like 12 years old and I remember seeing it and going, my God, we've done it. Give me a sense.
Now for real though, like the iPhone, seeing the iPhone in your hand, like this is a technical advancement of today. But the first one though, with the button, even though it's kind of slow, you have to slide to unlock. It still has some, you know what I'm saying, it had aura to it. Like everybody had that bit. I remember my mom had the BlackBerry first with the, you know, the keypad. Okay, you have to use that to, okay, you know, type whatever, da-da-da. Give me that touchscreen, man.
To the energy inside this store.
It's just overwhelming.
Look, everybody lit.
Everybody here is just so excited, and you can just feel it.
Damn.
Everybody is just so
Is that the Apple Store?
happy to get their phones.
That's okay.
That whole still look the same. Wow, they got the same aesthetic all day. Apple don't change. They just keep, you know, innovating.
Remember that,
or
right?
iterating
Then
on what they
jump
already
forward
have.
To the release of AI. Do you remember that? I don't, but what I do remember very vividly was the first time I heard someone from the company OpenAI, Sam Altman, talking about AI on the Joe Rogan Experience.
I think it's going to be a great thing, but I think it's not going to be all a great thing. And that is where, I think that's where all of the complexity comes in for people. It's not this like clean story of we're going to do this and it's all going to be great. It's we're going to do this, it's going to be net great, but it's going to be like a technological.
Something about this technocrat millionaire here, man. He's just so... We gonna get into it for real.
Revolution. It's going to be a societal revolution.
It feels now like the excitement around tech has all but disappeared. Like, I don't fucking know what iPhone we're on. I don't even really care what next generation console comes out. Who's using VR goggles apart from phone? I don't even really care.
Did that whole say the Xbox 720? Bro, in 2012, I was like, I think I was 12 at the time, going on like, no, I was 11 going on 12. I remember I was talking to my friend because he was from Marietta, Georgia. So we were both from the United States and we was in Africa, went to international school. I'll get to that later. We was big gamers, like super nerds, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else is just, you know what I'm saying, normies, but we nerding out. And we over here talking about Xboxes, like PlayStations, talking about Devil May Cry, like talking about combos and shit. Like, I remember when we were speculating on like the next console generation and like what it would be, because obviously 360, so times 2, like what else would it be, right? But nigga, see this now? So stupid. Oh my god. And they also had this other like console that came out. It's called the Ooh Yeah. We might have to watch a video on that too.
What next generation console comes out. Who's using VR goggles apart from gooners? And it's not just that people are getting bored of it, it's almost like people are turning against it.
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution. Woo.
Get the f out,
Tell that bitch to fuck out.
So what happened, right? What happened to the techno-optimism? Where did it all go? Well, to answer this, there's a really important period in history that basically mirrors what's going on today that can teach us a lot.
My first guess would obviously have to be like the job market. Because that's what was affecting me for the longest time. Because I graduated in 2024 with a computer science degree. So, bro was struggling for a little while trying to make shit shake. But let's see what he said.
About the current moment we are in.
Yeah, I got ass right now. Chill. We'll pay for premium after, bro. Just give me a chance. Hold up. My bad, y'all.
Okay, so we're going to teleport to sort of the 1700s, 1800s, right? And you're seeing this new wave of technology, these big, clunky machines, right? These are industrial machines. Before the machines, if you wanted textiles, you would go to a local artisan. Now, the artisan, his name would be like Peter Putteridge, and he would work with his family-run business out of a cottage, singing songs, slapping their knees, just creating textiles for the love of the game. But you see, right, in amongst this lovely industry, there was another class of people. And that class was called the merchants. Oh, you alright, Pete? I'm Mr. Artist.
Let's not get banned. Let's not get banned.
Sam, Peter, nice work. Oh, the missus looking pretty healthy at the moment. Yeah, I can do you a good deal on this, right? I'll get you your materials in. I'll get it for you cheap. You give me back your products. I'll sell it. Bob's your uncle. And for a while, this relationship worked, right? It was kind of balanced. But then the merchant started to think, well, maybe I don't fucking need Peter. He's a prick.
It's only one group of people. Stop.
And I kind of fancy his wife. And so the merchant started to create machines that could replace the artisan.
Mechanization began in the textile mills of England, where one machine attached to a spinning wheel could do the work of 50 people, and a new class of people emerged, workers who produced goods.
And this happened. The artisans in the textile trade, they were wiped out. So this opens a really important philosophical question for us as like a society, which is, where do we stand on that? You know, what is that? Is that theft? Well, it's this tension, this question that led to the creation of what were called the Luddites.
Away were weavers highly skilled till things were recognised. Craft and artisanship killed, a threat to all our lives.
In 1811,
Okay, Green Day back in the day though. Feel me?
a group came along that organised all of these artisans from different parts of the UK who joined forces under the name the Luddites. Firstly, they went to Parliament. They went...
Little tangent here, but I remember when I was in school, I used to love looking at these like drawings and stuff in the history books. Like that's why history is like one of my favorite tests, like not tests, but classes, because I got to actually like sit down and be in class, but actually like look at good illustration. Like that was actually representation of something of the past. Like I really love history.
And they said, hey guys, how about we strike a deal? Maybe we get a minimum wage. Maybe we put some rules, some regulations on these machines so, you know, my family don't starve to death. And the politicians, they heard that, they went, no. So the Luddites, right, after failing in Parliament, they got together and went, right lads, I guess we have to fucking destroy all the machines. And that's what they did. They went crazy. The boys went out late at night, banging out machines. The industrialists went, hang on a fucking second. You know all these politicians we're paying off? Well, they have an army. How about we ask them to bring the army in to help us? And so Parliament used literally the troops, you know, army paid for by taxes that were paid for by these artisans to go and protect the factories and the machinery. They took them and they also put Luddites on trial. They arrested them.
Dang.
And 17 Luddites were put to death by hanging. By
down.
around about 1813, it was game over. The Luddites had lost. When we zoom out of history, often it is very fair to say that machines liberated us in many ways. You know, the tractor, it destroyed jobs, but it also increased our ability to farm. Technologies have come along and expanded our abilities and treated diseases that in the past we couldn't.
Yeah, that's the one thing about what's the story? I think it's Prometheus. I think that's when he brings the fire down from the gods and he gives it to the humans. It's like a double-edged sword. The thing about technology, like that's why your phone, like it has so many, like obviously good uses. Like it has everyday applications. Obviously, you use it every day. Probably watching this video on your phone. But at the same time, how many hours are you putting into your phone that you might have been able to put into your craft or your passion or even just work? Because, man, I remember I used to work with some folks, man, that phone be taking their soul away. But
that is all true. The Luddites weren't anti-technology. They weren't against technology. What they were against was the private ownership of their livelihoods, their knowledge and expertise being taken from them by private individuals who took all of the benefit. They were talking about ownership. And when we look at ownership in the modern day, obviously, the Luddites had a fucking point. They weren't crazy. Okay, so when we go through the 1900s, 2000s, and we think about technology and the progression, we went fucking mental, man. Look at it. There's graphs. Look at that looks impressive, doesn't it?
It's
Straight
crazy.
line pointing up. Wow. Tech. We went from dying from cholera to having a man on the moon. That is quite impressive. We have to admit that. But what really stands out to me is just how the mentality
did we really make it?
towards tech completely shifted, right? We went from being skeptical of tech to now, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, we became very optimistic about tech. right? Tech changed. We had all these sci-fi books and films and novels talking about how we're just going to solve everything with digital doodahs and gadgets.
What do you guys do? I mean, you don't drink and you ain't got no TV. Must be kind of boring, ain't it?
A lot.
Bro's a true American. Holy shit.
Has changed in the past 300 years. People are no longer obsessed with the accumulation of things. We have eliminated hunger, want, the need for possessions. We've grown out of our infancy.
And it like expanded our imagination. We would look at the future.
You see, the thing about entertainment, I think that was Star Trek. I'm not sure, but I don't know. The thing about entertainment is that they always put such great gems in there. Like, you never see that in any like actual, real, you know, was it nonfiction stuff. But in fiction, they always put the ideals that are going to be beneficial for man. Like everything he said there, like if you apply that to your life and you start to let go of, you know, all the bullshit you have around you, and you start to work from within,
future as a positive thing. We'd look at future worlds and how it might be. There was this, beginning of, I guess, what we could call techno-optimism. And so you have to wonder why. Like, why the sudden shift from hating it once to now all of a sudden everyone loves tech? Well, my friends, it has a little something to do with a thing called World War II.
Too many ideas, too many tasks, zero focus.
My bad,
Here's how to
chat.
break the cycle.
My bad, chat.
Alright, so World War II, in amongst all the bombing and the killing and the genocides and nuking people and, you know, the bad bits, we got some pretty neato gadgets. And there's a reason, right? During World War II, the government started to organize mass public funding into technologies to kill other people. That was kind of it. But the key part is the organization, right? The state pumped money into research, into universities, laboratories, they took engineers, they coordinated these massive sort of projects that a singular private company wouldn't have the resource in order to achieve. Yeah, it's just too risky for a singular company to do it. The government had much more stability. So yeah, we'd get some smart people who wore glasses and put them in a room and threw money at them, and then bang, we got radar, we got computers, we got fucking medicine, electronics. All of a sudden, we had a load of new unlocks. And this was sick, right? This was
Crazy how war like works, how it really does change humanity. And come on, G, you telling me everything we have in front of us right now in our modern day comes from millions of people dying from years ago? Like,
sick, and the system was working really well.
Intriguing to
We
think
kept
about.
doing it. World War II finishes. We just keep pumping the money in, and yeah, long story short, we get a man on the moon. That's pretty mad, right? That is impressive.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The moon thing, the, you know, one small step for man thing happens. We get computers. We get the first computers. GPS, early internet. We even get touch screens, voice recognition, satellite. And what is incredibly important to remember is that these technologies that we discovered in this incredible expansion of technology, no one directly owned it. Most of these things were
They had
in
touchscreens back then?
public domain. The internet, like, this is where you really see this.
What year
because
was that?
the whole culture of open source is what bled into those early nerds that were just making shit. They would build something and another nerd would go, hey, oh, Gavin, that's really neato. Can I?
And I come back and I would write
Oh my god, bro. I went to school with guys like this, man. Listen.
programs all night, and around 7 in the morning I go to sleep.
Come on, G. I'm not doing that. That's probably why I didn't get a job right out. But goddamn, holy Jesus Christ. But look, MIT hacker. Come on.
Richard Stallman has been called the last pure hacker for choosing to remain at MIT despite the temptations of the commercial world, true to the spirit of the early hackers.
What they had in common was mainly love of excellence in programming.
But you see, by the
Bro,
80s
elitist.
and into the 90s, very quickly, more and more private companies started to sniff around the open source sea and use these publicly developed technologies to create consumer products.
Introducing Macintosh. It does all the things you'd expect a business computer to do.
And Steve Jobs, he was really on it.
You wouldn't expect a business computer to do.
Okay, so by this point, we have a mass consumer base. We have middle class people with a bit of money.
Bro, look at the mall back in the day.
Working class people even have money. They can buy shit, loads of shit, consume. Very quickly, the personal computer lands on your dad's desk so that he doesn't have to buy porno mags at the shop anymore. Now little Timothy Figglesmead, he doesn't have to go to rap concerts in the middle of New York. He can buy a Walkman and walk around the suburbs listening to NWA. These technologies in this
you got no aura.
period of time, they offered average people a liberation, like a new ability to write, to make music, to produce art, to play games, store photographs, and access information. New ideas that they previously didn't really have much of a way of accessing. I remember the technical...
Bro, seeing that for like the first time as a human, like old tech in the 90s was new. Like how I'm seeing my monitor, my PC, all that is how they were looking at it, which is insane. Because if you were to have it here, present day, I'm kicking that shit in the dirt.
Evolution of gaming in my lifetime, like going from the PlayStation 1 to the 2
look at that,
to the 3,
look at that bit.
About every generation, it was like, yeah, new graphics, new ideas, new abilities you could never imagine. It was sick.
Buy a PC for college.
It's like Unreal Engine stuff.
Get a free Xbox 360.
They really did the red versus blue shit for the ad, I guess. That's tough. I never seen this.
The fucking internet came on. It brought it all together. Now, online multiplayer. I can get hate crimed by a Russian playing Counter-Strike whilst listening to Numa Numa Guy singing on YouTube. And then if I get bored of that, I could do some deep research on how the pyramids were made on Wikipedia. Wikipedia, literally an encyclopedia made for free by people just storing the world's knowledge on a website.
So
this,
crazy.
my friends, and we need to remember this. You can understand why everyone was so fucking high on techno-optimism, because what it had given us from beforehand was a major leap forward. This tech was allowing us to do things, experience things, and connect with people in a way that was just never even imaginable like 100 years ago. And a lot of it was done free and just for passion. Like a lot of the early iconic internet culture that was created wasn't done with any means. Like,
man, I used to love early YouTube, bro. When I was like 7, oh my god, I used to be on Smosh like day to day, watch them boys, rewatch the videos, rewatch the skits. Them hoes was too funny. Shut up.
Smosh, for instance, when they're lip syncing Pokemon, they had no idea that you could make money from this in the future. They were doing it because it was funny.
I mean, like, really, there was
That's
no
so
business
crazy.
in the
It's
beginning.
Ian right here.
There's no way to make a business. We were just messing around, just having fun, making silly videos on a webcam, and it seemed to resonate with a lot of people.
When I was building my iconic RuneScape clan website for Fist of Gothics on Freewebs that had a dragon skimitar instead of a mouse cursor that at its peak boasted over 200 members. I didn't put all that blood, sweat, and tears into making the best website ever for money. I did it because I had no friends. And sure, you know, later in life, a lot of these people who did all these things, they went on to make careers. They went on to make money. Not me and my clan website. I couldn't lock down any seed funding for that. But that was the spirit. And it felt like every single year things got bigger and better and more impressive. And it genuinely felt that these things were improving our lives. And I would say all of these things, all of these strands.
This was like the best time. Like, ooh, Fujifilm cameras, man. I love their cameras. But dang, look at that. And the Y2K aesthetic, like you can already just, oh my god,
came together in this sort of euphoria around tech that existed in the 2000s. But then one company would come along and change everything.
Who do we want to guess? Can't be Microsoft. You already said Apple. Was it Facebook? I don't know.
Abraham Lincoln united a nation that was
Abraham Lincoln. I'm not trying to
he
see
gave his
right
life
now,
as a martyr for the cause of peace.
Abolish slavery.
Journey begins.
You sure about that?
I'll be honest, when I'm traveling, I don't like using my phone. I like to be an in-the-moment vibes boy. And that's all well and good until it's midnight and I found out that the taxi's taking me to the wrong hotel. And I pull out my phone to try and find out where I need to go, and I don't have any internet. And what's more, I don't have enough internet in order to buy internet.
Ad read, we gonna support him,
so
though.
this is why I installed today's sponsor, Holofly eSIM. And there's this one absolute
Holofly, come fuck with
life-saving
me too,
benefit
man.
of Holofly, which is called Always On.
fuck with
Once
me
you've
too.
installed your eSIM, they send you 1 gigabyte of data every single month,
I don't even think you
automatically
need that in
without
the
having
US
to
though,
do
to
anything
be
to your
honest.
bill. What this means
Maybe
is
in
when your
Africa,
original
we
plan
used to
ends,
have. In Africa, we used to have like the little Nokia phones. You had to put the SIM card in. And you had to, like, shit was crazy. I was only in there. I was in the shit for 3 years, brother. Say 2011 to late 2013. So I'll just say 3 years.
say that the next time you
That
go
was-
traveling,
it
you
was really
forget to sort
2014.
out your data before you land, you will have that 1 gigabyte of data when you land automatically, saving you when you need it. Holofly also offers plans of unlimited
And they got this African ass nigga.
data in over 200 different destinations, as well as
Told you.
customizable day plans and hotspot capabilities in over 200 destinations. There are 15 regional eSIMs and 1 global eSIM, so you can choose something suitable if you're going on one trip or traveling across several different countries. The eSIM itself is super easy to install. It takes you about 2 minutes and 5 using the code.
And we are calling it iPhone.
Look at him, right? Steve Jobs walking out like the fucking Messiah,
Oh,
holding
I was right.
this
That's
thing
Apple.
in his hand that was about to change the entire world forever. The Apple iPhone, right? What it did is it took many of these disparate technologies and combined them into one.
Oh my god, bro! I remember taking my mom's phone to watch. I used to watch Bleach off her phone. Phew. I remember like having to use Safari. It looked all kind of clunky and shit. Moved slow.
Easy to use device that anyone could use. All of these
And the
technologies
icons
that,
too,
as I
man,
mentioned,
so
came from these
iconic.
publicly sourced investments in the early days had now fallen into this one perfect product. It had everything. It had music. It had a good.
And before the iPhone came out, they had the Nokia, like the Microsoft Nokia phone, and I thought that was the best thing ever because it had like a. No, it wasn't before that. That was after. I'm wrong. Disregard what I said. But Microsoft did drop a phone, and it had like the Xbox, like the Xbox One kind of format when it came to like the dashboard and shit.
Camera, it had a touch screen and it could fit in your pocket. This device was just mind-blowing for that period. And I would say, like, and to me, in my mind, this is the peak of techno-optimism, because a few years around this is where you're getting the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. The way those technologies were leveling up gaming, it was all coming at the same sort of point. And I'd really say this was the high point. But what is really interesting is, as amazing as the iPhone may have been, it marked a very important turning point for the world of technology. You see, the thing about Apple, right, is Apple...
See, Apple, like, I don't know if you're religious or not, you know what I'm saying? It don't really matter, but I like to see the allegory between the apple and the apple of Eden and the idea of like what it gave us, because this literally changed the world. The apple of Eden, like, is this the second time it's changed the world, huh?
Apple's ethos is that of what you could call a walled garden, right? You've got everything you want in the walled garden. You got the swing on the tree.
He's saying garden. I'm literally talking about the apple, like the Garden of Eden, like holy, like
fresh fruit. You got the snake that keeps flirting with you. You got it all in one garden, but you can't fucking leave. Why would you wanna? It's all here. There's nothing for you out there.
But I do love the way all the Apple shit works together. But it's like they call it a walled garden.
Yes.
Everything's beautiful in the garden, but you try to do some shit outside.
I didn't even know they already had like a metaphor for it.
And Apple does all these little, they do all these little shitty tactics to facilitate that.
And like, look, there was a reason. You know, these early
And it works
technologies,
too.
in the sort of Wild West
It worked on
era,
me.
they were kind of, you know, there was some good, but there was some bad. There was a lot of bad. There was a lot of junk. There was a lot of viruses. And like, you kind of had to know how to use these things. You needed some technical knowledge. The Apple ecosystem is specifically not that of open source. Not anyone can just come in and change things and tweak things and do what they want. No, it has to go through.
See, with Microsoft, you can literally delete some files in your computer and you will brick your shit. You never get to use your shit again unless you like hard reset. Maybe have to boot in another instance or a license of Microsoft, maybe, I don't know.
Through Apple. And whilst this walled garden of Apple products in the beginning streamlined things, made things better, it was also starting to enclose things. Through the 2010s, right, the internet really fundamentally shifts. It goes from this wild west of many different websites and developers and different products into an increasingly controlled, smaller amount of companies. Google come along and dominates search. Facebook comes along and dominates social media. Apple controls its app store. Amazon dominates and controls online shopping and the infrastructure that goes into building the internet. Private platforms had come along and started building gated platforms for this technology that emerged from the public domain, funded by taxpayer money. They did not invent the internet, but increasingly they were controlling it. But you see, this was all happening under everyone's nose.
Much more like, they made it to where like it had clicks of the internet. Like you had to be either here, you're either here, here, and then everybody else is just on those random forums, like whether it be bodybuilding.com, 4chan, what else? There's a whole bunch of other forums I would pop into as a kid. And then like now you understand what's going on because obviously I'm a kid. Like I'm just seeing people type words I don't even know. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just leave. But Facebook, you know, YouTube, that obviously gravitated towards. I gravitated to those two. There's Newgrounds. Newgrounds was like that too. That was like a place where people would.
In the early days, the products were so good, we were just like, fuck it. We can trust them. Look how cool Steve Jobs looks, man. Zuckerberg, he couldn't hurt a fly. The benefits of new tech felt so immediate and so big that we kind of just forgot about that. This era of the 2010s tech felt more like liberation than enclosure. But very quickly, things would change for the worse.
See, the thing about liberation or freedom in general is that it gets to the point that you're so free that you're not free anymore. Let that sink in, brother. Let that sink into the sea. Let that ad sink in, man. I gotta pay for that premium soon enough.
So I'd say it's pretty hard to like pinpoint the exact moment where like the vibe shifted on tech, where people became skeptical of it. But I would give a lot of credit to the documentary that came out in 2020, and that was called The Social Dilemma. Now, this was a massive critique of big tech, and it wasn't that this was the first thing to critique big tech, but it really was a document that spread this skepticism across the masses of society. It was a really big hit on Netflix, and it really gave like a clear explanation as to what was going on.
What I want people to know is that everything they're doing online is being watched, is being tracked, is being measured. Every single action you take is carefully monitored and recorded.
All the Russian troll farms used on Facebook to inflame tensions in the 2016 election. Cambridge Analytica harvesting data to be used to, influence politics. And then in Myanmar, Facebook misinformation, radicalization empowers mass
See, when you're young and you don't understand like the ramifications of data and how important it is, literally every business runs on data. Like once you get into the background of any business, data. That's the biggest thing they need. Data. And they're gonna pay for it. They're gonna steal it. They have to. How are they gonna optimize and make their business processes more efficient and take more of your money? How are they gonna make sure that you see the ad that is meant for you at that moment in time? You're gonna buy that car now. You feel me? Like they done research you so much. That's all it is. They just research them.
Political violence against a group called the Rohingya.
It spread like wildfire, and soon the platform became inundated with hate speech against the Muslim minority, the Rohingya. Eventually, the military itself started using Facebook to add Rohingya propaganda, and it all culminated with what the UN called a textbook case of ethnic cleansing when the military and Burmese citizens drove the Rohingya out of the country.
Along with all these stories popping up, there were more and more stories about social media addiction, mental health, conspiracy theories, radicalization, and what the Social Dilemma did was tie all of these things together and explain the root cause of a lot of these problems, and that was algorithms.
They know when people are lonely, they know when people are depressed, they know when people are looking at photos of your ex-romantic partners, they know what you're doing late at night, they know the entire thing.
the
Hey,
happy-go-lucky,
they got my
shiny image of big tech and Google being like, hey,
all
you know,
you
we want
gooners,
everyone to
they
be
know what you
connected and
is.
creative and great. You know, whilst that's the branding on the front of the packet, behind it is a much, much darker business model that tracks every single twitch of your eyebrow to see what things inflame your brain the most to keep you on the platform for as long as you can so they can serve you more and more ads. Compete for our attention. They learn from our fears. What causes us anger, what makes us outraged. After seeing that, right, after seeing that in the documentary, yeah, it kind of become hard to believe that these new technologies that were coming out were designed purely just to make our lives better. We started to doubt that. A skepticism emerged. And bearing in mind, this is a period of time where very shortly after COVID happened.
And if you let your ego, like, take control and you start thinking that you're, you know, you won't be affected by social media, because I remember I did that before. And I was completely wrong. I was probably more affected by social media than the average person. Like the way I overthink or I see something or how I compare shit. Like that's why I can't use like social media. Like the main ones like Instagram. I don't use Snapchat. Like I don't like seeing other people's shit. Like because then I start comparing, and I don't even understand like why I compare so much. But I think it's just because I have like a competitive nature. But I don't know. Maybe it's cope. But
where political tensions and misinformation just become a daily occurrence. And of course, social media itself had become just more and more extreme, more political, more radicalized, and more divided.
And even after mega sites like Facebook said they were cracking down, the Tech Transparency Project, a nonprofit watchdog group, found it's still easy to find extremist content calling for violence on the site.
And it's not just like the platforms and the social media and stuff, but it's the tech itself. At a certain point, tech got so good that it was just like, it was good enough. Like, couldn't get that much better. The technological evolutions slowed down at a point, right? What iPhone are we on now? I don't know. Each iPhone is basically the same thing.
17.
They even now hold back technology they have so that they can sell future models. The difference isn't that much. And like, you know, once you get used to this stuff, like great, I can connect my Roomba to my door cam and order Deliveroo for it. Fantastic. Great. Life's amazing now. But like, yeah, it kind of served its purpose mostly, and we would start seeing technologies that would come, promise the world, and they would shit, like the metaverse and VR goggles. No one really uses that much. It hadn't changed the world like it was promised, and more and more we were just starting to notice that tech was taking up more and more space in our lives, more energy from us, and this started to kind of grow like a fatigue around tech. And I think there is a reason for that. Whilst I am very happy that Google Maps exists, and whilst I'm very happy that I don't have to queue up at a bank, I can do everything on my phone, whilst I appreciate these things, at the very same time, through the very same time in human history, it really does feel like life got much more demanding. We got all this great technology, but at the same time, food prices went up, rent went up, energy's gone up, jobs have become scarcer, the job market's become more demanding, and the tech itself started to change the nature of the job market. It made it much more flexible, but in the same way, unstable. You can like apply to be a Deliveroo driver from your phone, and then these job platforms hyper monitor you, track everything you do, and then fire you if you ain't up to scratch.
Crazy.
Cameras around?
They watch, basically.
There's so many cameras around the building. Someone told me.
There's one up there, isn't there? The ceiling.
We felt like we were being surveilled every second.
Dang.
What's that?
You're making sure that slave working, huh?
Guys,
Sheesh.
Nina just.
You say put the
There's
camera up.
clearly a mistrust of staff.
Many jobs in retail get lost because, you know, you can just use a self-checkout machine and that replaces jobs. More and more jobs started to get taken because of technology and automation. And then things like email and WhatsApp, whilst they sped up communications, which is great for business, it also sped up business communication. It meant that at any point in the day, this device that won't stop fucking buzzing at me in my pocket because my boss wants me to do the spreadsheet by 6 o'clock, increasingly, it follows us around. It's sort of invasive in our lives. We can't escape from our jobs. We can't switch off. Working out of hours becomes more and more common. So
Yeah, like, it's because, you know, capitalism, whatever, we can't live any other way. You know what I'm saying? You gotta log in. You got to see it through. And then if you don't want to be, you know, I forgot what his name is, BoJack Horseman, I think. If you don't want to be him right now in this allegory, shit.
always on and we're always productive. So like, yeah, great.
You got to break out the matrix. Really, like, I don't know. Now everybody knows about the matrix, so I don't even think there's a matrix anymore. Now I think everybody is the matrix.
We have all this tech now. Fantastic.
Only way to get out for real is move to like the rainforest and like live off the land. Move your family down there.
Everything is digital and super duper, but our lives don't feel easier. They don't feel happier or less stressful. If anything, probably the opposite. And so, of course, in this environment, imagine, right? Imagine you release AI, the thing that every dystopian sci-fi of the last 50, 60 years had warned us about as being the worst possible thing ever. Right? Imagine that comes out in that period of time. I vividly remember when Sam Altman went on Joe Rogan.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. Like I said earlier in the video, technology or the technology within fiction or the stuff within fiction always provides some sort of answers, or it has some sort of truth within it, because obviously you can see how AI is affecting the everyday person. Like, some people use it to think. So like, what do you think that's going to do to them in 5 years? Their critical thinking skills are going to go, like, they're going to plummet. Like,
I just remember it and how the vibe felt so different to Steve Jobs coming out and releasing the iPhone.
AI safety gets overloaded. Like, you know, does it mean don't say something people find offensive, or does it mean don't destroy all of humanity, or some
like, what kind of what kind of conversations is he having, like, in the back, you know what I'm saying, behind closed doors? Because he's talking about destroying humanity and da-da-da. He obviously knows that there has to be some, you know,
continuum, and I think
some negative things to come with
the word is like gotten overloaded. But in terms of the like not destroy all of humanity version of it, we have a lot of work to do, but I think we have finally more ideas about what can work, and given the way the systems are going, we have a lot more opportunities available to us to solve it than I thought we would have.
It wasn't optimistic.
What did he even say? What did he just CEO talk his way out of? Like,
right? It couldn't be. You can't come out slapping your knee and go, hey guys, this thing's gonna replace you. Ha! The world was different now. We're not 360 no-scoping each other on COD anymore. This is the 2020s. This is wars, pandemics, and the obvious reality that tech didn't live up to its promises. Okay, so imagine in that environment, you are the CEO of the AI company, right? That's you, and that's your job. And you need to go on a massive podcast and tell everyone about this technology that everyone is scared of intrinsically. So yeah, you're probably going to leave the turtleneck at home and the Messiah complex. You're probably not going to come out on stage and expect everyone to applaud every time you use the word synergy. Sam Altman being the Steve Jobs of this era, whose job is really to market this technology.
I honestly don't even see him as the Steve Jobs of this era. Like, Steve Jobs actually inspired people to do better. Like, I remember watching some of his interviews, or at least some of his clips. Like, just watching those clips it'll almost like open something up in your mind if you're open to it, and it might give you some answers that you might need when it comes to doing something great in this life.
Is actually very good at his job. Although you might look at Sam Altman and think, well, he's not got the vibe that Steve Jobs has. That's a good thing. He reads the room very well, and he presents himself in this kind of somber, technocratic, concerned appearing individual. The very first thing he says about AI is that I think it's a great thing, but it's also not going to be a great thing.
I think it's going to be a great thing, but I think it's not going to be all a great thing. I think that's where all of the complexity comes in for people. It's not this like clean story of we're going to do this and it's all going to be great.
I wonder what his like true motives are, or he has to have some ulterior motives. Like, he has to.
Going to do this, it's going to be net great, but it's going to be like a technological.
Because no one goes on the cars, you know, no one shows their hand in the first play, like, or the second or the third, you know.
Revolutions can be a societal revolution.
When he's describing AI, he talks about it in this kind of, worried way. He will talk about it taking people's jobs. He's open that it's going to destroy the way of life for many people. Sure, he will also talk
But is
about
that all?
abundance, scientific discoveries, and the fact that people will gain access to a very powerful tool, but it's always kind of tucked in a sort of defensiveness. And it's smart, right? Because if he came out saying this is the best thing, it's going to be absolutely great, and we're all going to have fucking free kittens, like, it would obviously fall on deaf ears. So he was affirming people's fears, which made them, at least when you listen to him, it makes you kind of trust him, at least a little bit. At least he seems like he's being honest. And I think from his point of view, he doesn't really have to worry about selling AI to people because he knows the tool is incredible. People are going to use it, even if they don't like it. Out of curiosity, they're going to check it out, or out of fear of falling behind everyone else who's going to use AI, they're going to start using it, regardless of their opinion. It doesn't need to be a liked product. It just needs to be known that it exists. And also remember, this is a CEO of a company who is not just speaking to the general public, but is also speaking to investors. Part of his appearance, going on Joe Rogan, getting that much publicity, also opens him up to the world of investors and very wealthy people. They are also listening. And what they're hearing is, this is a guy who's developed a tool that means we can fire all of our workforce, replace them with robots, sign me the fuck up. And I seem to feel like the reaction to the launch of AI was like, maybe there was like 1 week of optimism. I sort of remember being like, wow, this is incredible. And everyone in the group chat was showing each other, oh, look, you can generate a chicken with a dick on its head. Wow, the future. Sick. After about a week, that optimism dried up pretty quickly as artists started to realize, oh, hang on a second. If this thing keeps getting better, I'm out of work. Writers started to realize this thing writes way quicker than me. I need to go for a piss. I need to drink coffee. This thing just goes. Programmers started seeing that it could write code, right? I think originally we all kind of thought, well, AI is going to come and it'll do all the boring shit jobs that we don't want to do. But all of a sudden, now it's taking the fun jobs. Now it's doing our paintings. We don't need you to do that. Very much just up for you, I don't know, sorting out our taxes. Stick to that stuff.
See, the thing about the art side of it is that the layman, the average person who isn't artistic or, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to put that much time. They're not going to spend 5 hours editing a video or like a photo, right? They'd rather generate that shit right now. Come on, G. Like, that's the thing about the average person. Like, nobody cares for their work. And I mean, that's what it is. That's just a market. So let's say you're an artist and you're not making any money. No, well, that's just you. I mean, you gotta get better. And then if the AI is doing better and it's taking your spot, you gotta do better. Like nobody cares about how much hard work it takes for art, and that upsets me because I'm artistic.
I'm totally fine with drawing.
It's just fucked up that like AI now they're like, how did fucking computers become the thing and machines became the thing that does art and humans are the ones in fucking Amazon warehouses?
Yeah, like how that makes sense?
The robots be working so we could paint? How the fuck are we?
And it's that combined with the fact that AI in its entirety is trained off of inordinate volumes of data which was written and created by humanity. Data which was often taken without our knowledge.
The technology and vision behind generative AI is amazing, but stealing the work of the world's creators to build it is not. Right now, many AI companies train on creative work they haven't paid for or even...
So in my final year and this is the same year that I graduated. So I had a seminar class for computer science. So we had to do a research project, and my exact research project was AI and its effect in the artistic space, and how it would affect copyright, and how it would affect original creators. Man, I put my heart and soul into that. And now look, he's having a whole TED talk about it. I didn't even think.
And ask permission to use.
AI companies have been bulk buying rare books.
I need to buy premium.
Scanning them through high-speed machines that cut the spines off and then shred the originals.
This was our shit. This is not just this is humanity's shit. This is every idea we've ever had written down. And now a private company has taken all of this and created a machine that reproduces it and is attempting to cut out the humans who created it. Doesn't that sound familiar? By 2026, right, the hostility to AI has grown so big. Companies are even reducing their usage of it. I don't advertise AI because of pushback we get from it. It is a thing that people don't like. And quite incredibly, the people are organizing now and fighting back. There have been so many documented situations where data centers were built and they've been polluting locals' water. They're noisy, they're ugly, they're disruptive. They're taking energy, causing...
And when they say noisy, they are loud. Imagine sitting in your apartment or your house and hearing a massive like hum. Just a underlying hum within your day, like every day. I could not imagine that. All of a sudden somebody can waste water to generate Sonic with a fucking a ring around his cock.
Blackouts.
It's our family. We belong here.
But Ansley Brown's childhood home likely won't be here much longer. That's because the state's largest utility, Georgia Power, says it needs the area to make way for a 35-mile-long transmission line.
So local communities have been organizing against when there's plans to build data centers, and they're winning. In Chile, in 2024, activists shut down Google's expansion plans. The Netherlands, you've had protesters shutting down things. All around the world this has been happening. The tide is turning. You can see public opinion. In the United States, 7 out of 10 people oppose having data centers built in their local communities. And as of June...
But then how many of those people are the same ones using ChatGPT and all that? Like,
in 2026, there is over 100 moratoriums on new data centers being built all across America. Just the other day, a protester jumped on stage at a conference that was called, get this, AI for Good, whose company's AI is being used by the military in Gaza.
You are making Project Nimbus, a project of billions of dollars that Amazon is investing so that Israel has free access to your servers, that actively tracks using AI people in Palestine, and when they come back, they kill them together with their families.
I wish he fell right there.
People in Palestine, and when they come back, they kill them together with their families.
He's like, get out of there.
And we keep seeing clips from students' graduations where they're booing at people who go up and do these speeches celebrating AI in front of them.
Last December, Time magazine selected its Person of the Year for 2025. And this time, it was the architects of artificial intelligence. Interesting.
You know he is? He's out of... he's out of... you know that Gojo? How he can't touch it? He's out of touch. Can't touch it. Man. He's tripping right now. He doesn't understand that the same people that he's talking to right here are about to go home, apply to jobs, and see all these jobs open. Get the shit read by AI, get denied automatically, and then have their data kept. Like,
AI is rewriting production as we sit here.
Like, imagine you went to school, bro, and then the dean pulls up to the graduation and says, yeah, you was here for a long time, G, but that shit useless, G. AI got it now, so congrats, you did it. Like, come on, G, like.
Know it. Deal with it. Like I said, it's a tool.
Did he just say deal with it at graduation? Oh. This nigga don't like us. He don't like his students, I guess. He said deal with it.
Hey, like I said, you can hear me now or you can pay me later.
You can hear me now or you can pay. Bro, it's a time and a place. We know you right. We understand. We knew. But I think he should have went a different way.
This is truly a remarkable moment where the young generation, for probably one of the first times, are booing the future. How sad is that? They are not looking forward to their future. They're not coming out of university going, wow, we went and learned all these skills, these new things, so we can go and build things in the world.
Right.
No, they are looking at their future like, oh.
Bro, summer 2024, this was literally me. Nick was going through it, bro. Like, taking L's, sitting in the... Bro, I remember I sat down in the closet, bro. It's been a little minute, so... Nigga, I sat down in the closet, bro. I just started crying my eyes out, bro. I said, bro, I'm finna be a bum, bro. I'm finna not make it. Like, it's over for me. Like, I can't... Bro, that hopelessness, I hope nobody ever gets to feel that, bro. And if you're going through that, man, you gotta, like... open up, talk to your homeboy, talk to your dog, you know, talk to your mom, talk to your dad, somebody, because this spot right here by yourself, it's a hard one to get out of.
AI is taking all our jobs. All
That
of
mean
that was
fucked up
pointless.
right
We're
here.
going to have nothing. This is fucked. And it's not because they don't understand or
Mr. Robot is also a great show.
are scared of the technology. They understand it more than anyone else. And what they understand better than everyone else is that this technology and the economic relationship they have to it is there to replace them. And then people have the cheek to go to their graduations and talk about how AI is probably going to perform their job quicker and better than they will. Once again, workers are being asked to celebrate technology that has been built from generations of humans' knowledge, shared public collective knowledge, whilst the ownership of the technology and the gains that it produces are going to be concentrated by private individuals, billionaires.
Man, look at these guys, bro. I can't wait till these guys pass on, man. Shit.
And it's like this rejection of AI comes.
Tired of seeing the same niggas at the top of the leaderboard. Like, come on, can we get a different switch? Like,
an also interesting cultural period of time where it comes along with a rejection of just modern tech in general. Like, there's a massive trend of nostalgia, like 2000s aesthetic.
Pink Panthers, though, hey, I'll move to England right now.
The Y2K within fashion, but also tech products. I think it's got like Frutiger Aero, this kind of like imagery of 2000s tech, the sort of green, the blue, and the bubbles, this utopian image. This stuff has come back into fashion. Kids are using now dumb phones instead of iPhones. People are buying vinyl players, they're buying CD players. I've even seen videos that talk about CRT monitors, those old big monitors with the massive fucking...
He's completely right, because when I do edit when I, like, you know, make content, whether it be photography or videography, I like this style. I like the aesthetic of the retroness. You know what I'm saying? I like the CRTV. I like the grain. I like heavy, you know, not overly heavy saturation, but it's like a overall like feel that comes with the Y2K era, you know? And like, it just reminds me of sitting down on the couch watching like the TV and then like touching the TV. You can like feel the static from the TV and shit. Like that's what it makes me feel, you know?
Back off on them. And they're saying it's incredible.
Modern games look unbelievable on CRT monitors. So much so that I choose this over this nearly every time I play. There's something strange that happens when modern games are run on CRT monitors.
What?
And sure, like, part of this...
I gotta go back and look and see that.
Games,
those old big monitors with the massive fucking back off on them. And they're saying it's incredible.
Modern games look unbelievable on CRT monitors.
I'm about to say that
so
would do look different.
That I choose this over this nearly every time I play.
I wonder if it's because in the CRTV monitors, like how it like propagates the pixels. Because I think it's either up or down. And I feel like maybe the analog version of generating pixels like that was better. Because now I don't know how OLED works or, you know. But maybe because it's, I don't know. Maybe you lose more data.
There's something strange that happens when modern games are run on.
I wonder. I'm gonna do some research into that. Actually, yeah.
And sure, like, part of this is an aesthetic, it is nostalgia, and also romanticizing old games. I've seen so many games that are now not just remakes and reboots, which is obviously a massive thing, but also games that are made in the style of old games. There's like new Mirror's Edge games. There's loads of new extreme sports games that were popular in the 2000s. There's like first-person shooters that are done in like a pixel style. I saw this video go...
What game is that? That's a Cruelty Squad?
Viral the other day, which was just romanticizing
Shout out,
how
Pirate
cool
Cynical.
this mechanic was on some old surf game that could emulate waves in an incredible way.
Damn.
And part of the appeal is also not just the nostalgia, but it's that this technology
When you
and
open-
relationship...
Bro, my uncle with the Xbox, like the original Xbox, opening it up to play Halo, that shit was so scary.
we had to it
This is
is very
ominous.
different. You used to buy technology and you owned it. You didn't need an account. You didn't need subscriptions. You had physical media that you physically owned and it did a job for you and that was it. It didn't control you. It didn't...
like having the case too, like it was such a hype moment just to open it up and pull the manual out. Holy shit.
ask anything of you. It didn't follow you around all day.
And it poses the question that a game I buy today and spend $100 odd on, will I be able to play it in 10 years from now? If I've still got a PlayStation, still got an internet connection, will the game...
It's crazy how the digital gaming is just all, it was all licensing. Like you never owned any digital game that you bought, like if you don't have the disc. And that makes you wonder too, because you need to have internet to like use the disc too, and like you have to install files. Like I remember having The Witcher 3, and I would pop it in for the first time, and then I had to install shit as if I was downloading it, like digitally. So does it work?
Still work? Will I be able to download it because it exists only in a digital form? And that's a real worry for people because you're buying something.
So I don't think the nostalgia is purely just about worse graphics and childhood bedrooms. But there is a nostalgia for the relationship that
That boy got that hanger.
technology used to have in this, what I would call techno-optimist era. It was simpler and just much more stable.
Oh, fuck! What is this? It's my
There's a term I came across just like literally yesterday.
I wonder what it'd be like to be in college in the 2000s, bro, compared to the 20s, whatever. Like 2000 college probably was so chill. Like, hey, you get out, you get a job quick, make your money.
Called retropia, which is this interesting form of nostalgia. When we talk in politics about nostalgia, typically that's a trait that's associated with conservative right-wing thinking. This belief that the past was better because we were more culturally aligned, everyone was more well-behaved, more disciplined, and it's the modern liberal mentality that's made us all shitboys. But retropia, I have noticed this, is I guess a form of nostalgia that exists of like being nostalgic for earlier periods in political history, particularly around World War II, where there was more of a social democracy, more socialist mentality, and less of a hyper-capitalistic one that we are.
Yeah, like, sorry, brother, but now we're so itemized. Come on, G. We're atomized, so we're separated. Nobody wants to interact with anybody else. Nobody wants to be cool with anybody else. Like, it's so weird. Like, because when I was in Africa, everybody talked to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a village type of thing. And even when you're a kid too, like everybody just talks to everybody. It's like you just have a natural way of forming bonds with other people. But then as you progress through the schooling system, especially in the Western world, the schooling system and having to compete with other people, and then you get a job, and then everything's a competition because of social media. It's like, oh, I can't fuck with you. I'm trying to do better than you. You feel me? Like, which is sad because both parties would do better if they came together and like put their ideas together. If they do, mesh.
So this nostalgia grows, and I find myself guilty of it. A nostalgia for an earlier stage politically. I look back at the post-war social housing period, founding of the NHS, public-funded technologies. I look at that with a sort of nostalgia for the past. And it's ironic, because I kind of want to conserve that. It's a strange dynamic that's appeared. And I'm seeing it a lot with a lot of this, like, return to a earlier stage in the development of capitalism. A desire to return those institutions of the past that work towards collective positive goals that neoliberalism
It's really just, it all comes down to money at the end of the day. At least in my perspective, because like if we were able to afford what they could in the past, now people wouldn't give a shit.
Has since dismantled for profit.
So
I don't think all of this pushback is a rejection of technology in and of itself, which often we get the critique it is. When people critique AI, they always get told you're just stuck in the past and you're trying to stunt progress.
Do you know how to truly protect your network? Red Education presents a free hour-long session.
I think the rejection is more that people have rejected the relationship, the modern relationship we have to technology. And they have also rejected the idea that the future is inherently bright. It doesn't feel like that now. And increasingly, people are asking new questions when new technologies are presented to us. Instead of being like, oh, wow, what does it do? This is cool. Now people are starting to think, who owns the technology?
Yeah.
What exactly is this technology going to replace? What information is it taking? And is this actually going to improve our lives? This is the skepticism around technology now. And what's interesting...
This is why I don't hop into like new shit like so fast. Like all this hype for all the AI shit, like I took my time with it. Like obviously when ChatGPT first came out, tested it out, computer science, so I had to code some shit, you know, see if it could do the code type shit. But like using it on a day-to-day basis, I took that out. I only use it when I'm trying to build something.
Is that the term techno-optimist is now actually used as a self-description by people like Mark Andreessen, who is one of these far-right tech ghouls who openly praises the fact that AI is going to cause mass job losses.
And so specifically what you have happening right now is you have essentially...
Look at this fucking red cherry ass nigga. He's so happy to take a nigga job. He's so happy. Look at him. Egghead. He's so happy. I might crack a dump on his ass.
Every large company is overstaffed. We could debate how much. It's at least overstaffed by 25%. I think most large companies are overstaffed by 50%. I think a lot of them are overstaffed by 75%.
You think so?
And now they all have the silver bullet excuse, right? It's AI.
Increasingly, the last...
He said, your life's done, your life done, your life done. You're on the street. Haha. That's tough. Deal with it. You can keep your job. Go home.
People left who would call themselves techno-optimists are people who believe in like this tech oligarchy, who want all of humanity's resources pumped into AI to make a technology that means that these oligarchs won't need us anymore. Us lowly humans who slow everything down with our...
Crazy to think that they could just stop what they're doing now and they'd be set for life, the rest of their life and their family's life. But something is pushing them. Something is intrinsically pushing them niggas to keep going with this technology shit. Like, these guys are stamped in the history books for life. Like, their legacy is set. But they keep going. They keep going. Like, it's a different kind of human being. Maybe they're not.
Complicated democracy and opinions. That's why they're happy about it, because they've got an escape route.
So talk to us about these comments from the CEO. Lower value human capital. Ooh, that sounds pretty
Don't we call those
for
people?
Somebody.
I think some bankers don't call them people, but
Okay, sorry.
it's lower value human capital.
And this is the point. The problem with technology will always be
call it
the
capital,
same
bro.
exact thing. Who owns it? What has
all that
happened
money.
in the last, 6 or so years, as this feeling of optimism around tech has died, is this growing understanding that nothing new...
And these articles are from last year. Take a look at them dates. So what do you think has happened within the past year?
will come along and save us if the ownership of that thing stays the same. If we could use AI, choose how to use it, if we controlled it as people and we could vote on its usage, I think many people could see its potential. Much more people would be much happier with it. The same for social media. If we could change algorithms to show us content that makes us feel good as opposed to content that makes us hate our neighbors, we might be more positive about it. And this realization is massive. If we can turn that into a genuine power, an organized movement of people who force the government, who force politicians to ask these questions around ownership and eventually to change the ownership toward us, the people. If we can galvanize this feeling into something tangible and avoid this feeling turning into a fatigue and an attitude that, well, this is just the way of the world, this is how things are, there's nothing we can do about it, and we let it defeat us. If instead we can turn it into a strong movement, an organized movement, who force a change in ownership over tech, then I believe we might be able to start being optimistic about the future again.
They canceled it! Say what? They canceled it!
Wow. One at a time.
If you enjoyed that video, be sure to support
That gave
me
me
on Patreon.
chills.
It really helps me and the team. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Here's how Hunter saved my ass.
That was a great video. That last clip of the dude running out and saying, "Hey, you fucking did it! Like, come on, G!" Like, and the chant too. The people united. Oh my God, it's like a beautiful sight to see. Like when people can come together under one cause and really focus, because that's all life is about. It's about focus. If you can focus, you can make changes in any part of your life. And if a group of people focuses, let's say 5 people focus on one thing, by the end of the year, do you think that thing is gonna be in the ground, in the dirt? Nah, it's probably gonna be halfway up to a skyscraper. Give it another 2 years, it's gonna be completely finished. You feel me? Compared to somebody that isn't focused or a group of people that isn't focused, it would never get anything done. Crazy to see, man. Great video. Y'all go to the original video, drop a like, man. I love this shit. Who am I subscribed to? Subbed.